spreading misinformation, I'm the truth seeker. Cut through the lies like a blade, I'm a fact checker. Splat Communications, the social need to follow. Unmasking fake news, exposing them all tomorrow. I'm on a mission, fighting for the information. No room for deception, it's time for retaliation. Splat Communications, we set the record straight. Real news, no filters, just the facts we dedicate. Fake news spreading like an epidemic outbreak, but I won't back down, I'll be the one to make them choke. Splat Communications, not that relevant until exposing all the lies. Watch them burn in hell.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, Rosa here of Splat Communications. Before we start, may we request dear followers, viewers and subscribers to please don't skip ads. This will help us a lot to continue the work that we do. Thank you. Likewise, may we request those who have not subscribed yet to please do so. Kindly make it a habit to like the videos, but more importantly, share it so you can help us in our fight against fake news, misinformation and disinformation.
President Duterte rescinded his decision to abrogate the VFA. So we're back to DND territory. Ambassador Romualdez, I believe you've been waiting, but you're muted. Babes?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Romualdez. You were quoted as saying, then President Duterte, we need to give this VFA a chance because it will help us get our vaccines to our people. Does this mean that what ensued was a quid pro quo arrangement between the US and the Philippines? May kaliwaan bang nangyaring ganito? The vaccine na bayad na natin would only be delivered if the VFA remained untouched. It's a quote from your interview.
No, what I meant there was when what we had paid for was the Moderna, but the United States at that time was prepared to donate several vaccines or a number of vaccines to the Philippines and to other countries as well. But obviously, the priorities were the allies. We were an ally, but let's be very honest about it. The fact that there was there's no such thing as a free lunch, and the VFA was being dangled as by then President Duterte, that he was not sure he wanted to continue with it. He abrogated it at that time. So I pleaded with the president and told him that perhaps it would be best if we could just allow the VFA to continue, so that it will be much easier for us to be able to get the United States to give us the vaccines that we paid for, at the same time also get more vaccines down the road.
Yes, do you know a certain Haydarian? I think he was the one who interviewed you, and he said that you said, except Washington was holding back all their vaccines because President Biden back then wanted all Americans to get it first. But we had already paid for our Moderna vaccines. And to put it frankly, I basically begged the White House to give us the vaccines, to give people hope.
Well, like I said, there was already the executive order from the White House that President Biden said that all Americans will first get the vaccines before we start getting vaccines out.
But why was there a need for the good ambassador to beg the White House for the delivery of Moderna vaccines when we'd already paid for them?
Well, even if we had paid for them, the schedule was actually still much later on. What I did was to ask the White House if they could give us the vaccines earlier than that.
Did they come earlier? In fact, as I recall, they were quite seriously delayed.
It was a delay, but there was other vaccines that are actually given priority for the Philippines, and specifically that was Pfizer.
So why was Pfizer, which we did not pay for, in the Philippines before Moderna, which we had paid for? I'm lost.
Yeah, Pfizer had more
supply.
More supply, and they had it with the COVAX facility, which I'm sure our DOH is familiar with. that we were given. The donation came from the.
And what did the VFA? What did the mention of the VFA have to do with it?
Well, like I said, in diplomacy, as far as I'm concerned, I felt that if we had the VFA in place, which was in place at that time, we just had to continue with it. So it'll be much easier for us to be able to really ask our friends here in the United States. It will be much, perhaps more conducive for them to be able to give us the vaccines.
Is it correct then, Ambassador Romualdez, to say that aside from paying the purchase price, the Philippines also had to beg and promise to allow U.S. troops in the country before U.S. vaccines were released? This is the impression that your interview gives.
Well, what was meant there was the vaccines that were being donated is what we were after. The vaccines that we had paid for, Moderna had already made it clear that the vaccines will be coming at a certain time frame. And it was, well, as you said, it was delayed.
So, what connection did the VFA and the Moderna vaccines have, in your mind?
Well, there was no connection in that one. The connection was more on the donation, on having more of the vaccines available for us. And specifically, that was Pfizer.
So you're saying that the VFA was related to the donation of Pfizer and had nothing to do with the already paid supply of Moderna?
No, it did not have anything to do with that one. It was more on the donations that were made available to countries all over the world.
But we paid for the Moderna. It's not a donation. Why did we have to agree to the VFA if we had already paid for the medicine?
We did not agree to the VFA because of Moderna. We allowed the president had approved the VFA to continue because I told him that perhaps it would be much easier for us to get more of the Pfizer vaccines that were part of the COVAX facility.
I see. Did anything or anyone in Washington imply that the VFA had something to do with the provision of U.S.-made vaccines to the Philippines? Where did you get the notion that they were perhaps tied together and that they would be friendlier and more ready to provide Western vaccines if the VFA remained in place?
Well, I could see that the priorities were given to countries that had obviously good relations with the United States. I mean, it's a very simple deduction, really, when you see that there are other countries that were given priority. And I wanted to be part of that priority at that time.
Yes. But you already said that Pfizer, being so widely available and being supplied much more efficiently, was all over the world. Are you saying that all over the world, every country with Pfizer was also required to host U.S. soldiers?
No. This was the earlier part when we were asking for the Pfizer, because at that time there was limited numbers, as you specifically said. President Biden said the priority would be first for Americans to receive the vaccines before they start exporting it. However, they also had donations that were being given. The United States government was donating vaccines through the USAID and other facilities, and also to the COVAX facility. And I wanted to be part of that priority.
And the priorities involved countries that hosted U.S. forces?
Not necessarily. I was just simply using that as a way of telling them that, look, we're going to continue with this. I hope that you'll give us, since we have and since 1951, we've had a mutual defense treaty. We've had the visiting forces agreement, which I'm sure President Duterte will perhaps continue with it. So these are the things that I used as a reason why we should be given priority like other countries close to the United States.
So it was just a usual inducement. Is that what you're saying?
Well, perhaps.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ferricoy, for being a channel member.
In a world
world unfolding, where stories come alive amidst the chaos.
Please support Splat Communication channel memberships. For small amounts per month, you would be able to help us continue our fight against fake news and disinformation. We have 3 levels of memberships: Splat Beginner, Splat Intermediate Plus, and Super Splat. Channel members have the any or all of the following perks: Loyalty Badge, Priority Reply to Messages, Members Only Live Chat, in-video and live video shoutouts, Early Access to Videos, Connecting to Social Media, Free and Discounted Merchandise. Hurry! Please become a channel member now.
Sadyang nakakalungkot na ang mga pagdinig na pinangunahan ni Senadora Imee Marcos sa Senado ukol sa pagkalat ng fake news na pinangunguhan mismo ng Amerika o ng China ay inilutang niya ang naratiba ng isang masamang Amerika. Kanyang iginiit na ang Amerika mismo ang pilit na iginigit ang pagpapatuloy ng Visiting Forces Agreement kapalit pag-ipit sa mga bakuna ng COVID na in-order at nabayaran ng Pilipinas sa Estados Unidos. Ngunit siya ay malinaw na nabara sa maayos na paliwanag ni Philippine Ambassador to Washington na si Ambassador Babes Romualdez na mismo si dating Pangulong Duterte ang gumagamit sa FIR upang i-leverage ito sa mga Amerikano. Sa patuloy na pagtatanong ni Senadora Marcos ay patuloy niyang idinigit niya na ang Amerika ay inipit ang gamot para sa Pilipinas. Hindi man namin mawari ang tunay na pinaghugutan ng Senadora, ngunit ang investigasyon na ito ay malinaw na nagpapakita na yung naratiba niyang taglay ay upang pasamain ang Amerika at pagandahin ang imahe ni dating Pangulong Duterte. Sa kanyang tinatahak na landas patungo sa kanyang re-election sa Senado sa darating na 2025, maraming Pilipino ang nasusulasok na sa kanyang pagiging masugid na taga-suporta ng mga Duterte na siyang naninira sa pamahalaan ng kanyang kapatid na Pangulo at habang lumalapit ang 2025 ay sumsasabay na ang pagkalagas ng kanyang chance na ma-re-elect. Shoutouts to Edmond Lego, Agosto Salos, Dan Villarreal, Jonash Eliseo.
What can you say? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment portion. We hope you like this video and that you've learned something new today. In behalf of the entire Splat Communications team, thank you. Till next time. Stay safe, let's pray for our president, our country and for world peace. Rosa out. Bye.
Ain't no land of misinformation, I'm the truth seeker. Cut through the lies like a blade, I'm a fact checker. Splat Communications, the social need to follow. Unmasking fake news, exposing them all tomorrow. I'm on a mission, fighting for the information. No room for deception, it's time for retaliation. Splat Communications, we set the record straight. Real news, no filters, just the facts we dedicate. Fake news spreading like an epidemic outbreak, but I won't back down, I'll be the one to make them choke. Splat Communications, not that relevant until exposing all the lies. Watch them burn in hell.
Good day.